Back behind my bald head is all the stuff I brought home from Illinois. And you're going to see it right now. Another trip to Illinois. Go pick up some goodies. It sure is a beautiful day out here. I just entered into Indiana. And yeah, it's cold, but sunshine is beautiful. I went by a billboard, a McDonald's billboard, and it had a great big picture of like a Big Mac or something, and it said, "Hungry?" And I said, "Not for McDonald's." "No, sir." We haven't eaten at McDonald's in over 3 years. And I have no intention of starting anytime soon. There's other places. Then we have the Burger King, and I like that King Bacon deal, or Bacon King. I don't know what it's called. But I'd rather have that. Or just go down into Muskegon and get a Popeye's chicken sandwich, I tell you what. I went down there the other day to get a fish sandwich. And the lady says, "I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the truck didn't bring no fish on it." So I had a chicken sandwich. Well, I like to stop at the old Pilot Flying J to get me a coffee. They have got, if you like a dark roast, get their organic Sumatra. Man, is that ever good. You ain't gonna believe what I'm after this time. I can't even believe it myself. And I don't even have the trailer on the back. So everything that I get is going to be in the back of this van. And if I only had 4 things, it would make it 100 times worth it. So oh, I'm finally getting off the expressway. I'm hoping there's a Popeyes. Better yet, I was hoping for a Burger King. I really do want a burger though. If they got a Popeyes, we'll see if they have a fish sandwich. Yeah, I'll take that. I'm ready to get out of this car too. Gas is the same price as us. That usually never happens. Oh, it's still bumpier than ever. Okay, I'm getting off the phone here. I don't know where Popeyes is. I found it. And they got a Burger King right next to a Popeyes. What do? I want a burger, but I want a fish sandwich. Did I say fish? I want a fish sandwich. I'll go to Popeyes first and see if they got the fish sandwich. If they don't, then I'll give me a booger. Okay. Well, here it is. What day is it? Wednesday at 5:15 in the afternoon. What a day it's been. I had a blowout on I-90 west of Chicago. And I forgot my spare. This has one of those donut wheels underneath, but those things are pretty much impossible to get out, especially if you've never had it off before. I never have. I always carry a full-size spare with me. I forgot to put it in. So, thankfully, the weather had warmed up some. It was awful breezy, but it wasn't that bitter cold that we had the day before. And that was this morning sometime. I made it over to Illinois in 5 hours, and that was with 2 stops where I messed around for half an hour. I called my insurance and turned in, for roadside service, and they located a towing company that was, I would imagine, not far from where I was. Now, if you're familiar with the Chicago area at all, I'm on I-90 heading in towards Chicago. I'm 2 miles from 294, where I would turn south. That's where it happened. So I get a call from the towing company, and they want to know where I'm at. I said, well, I'm at mile marker 75. I guess I better back up a little bit. The representative from the roadside service asked where I was at. I said, I'm heading towards Chicago. Exactly what suburb I'm in, I don't know. O'Hare's right there. I said I'm at mile marker 75. I'm on I-90 heading east. They took a couple of minutes. They're like, well, we know exactly where you're at. So they called the towing company, and the towing company calls me and said, we need to know where you're at. I said, well, I'm on I-90 heading east into Chicago. I'm not even to 294 yet. I'm at mile marker 75. But they go on to tell me that mile marker 75 doesn't mean nothing to them. They don't go by that. Which seemed kind of funny to me, that I call my insurance company, roadside service, and they were able to tell exactly where I was at. I said, I'm looking at the sign right now. Mile marker 75. All you have to do is go behind me and start heading into Chicago like you're going to get on 294, and you're going to find me. The dispatch person at the towing company was very rude. I'm not going to say anything else about that. But anyway, I also would periodically talk with the tow truck driver, who was very nice, very understanding and stuff. After several calls, I realized that the tow truck driver was looking at O'Hare. I said, I'm not at O'Hare. I'm on the expressway. I can see United Airlines right here where I'm at, but I'm on the side of the expressway. I had a blowout. So, going back and forth with the dispatch guy and the driver, I happened to be on the phone with the dispatch guy, and like I said, he was rude. He was scolding me for not knowing how to use my GPS, to give him a GPS pinpoint or something. I don't know how to use that. No idea. And I look in my rear view mirror. First of all, the dispatch guy was wanting me to drive off the expressway and go find a side street somewhere. At this point, I have no idea where the next street exit is. I know that 294 South is coming up, but that's another expressway. And I said, my tire's gone. I'm not going to drive down the road. Well, we can't help you if you can't help us. I said, but I did. He said, now you just want to argue with me. I said, I'm not arguing you. Yes, you are. You're mad at me. Or I didn't say mad, but he said, you're upset with me. I said, sir, I'm not upset with you. I said, I've never had a blowout before on an expressway. And I've never used roadside service on the expressway or in any place that I didn't know where I was at. I said, this is all new to me. And he would always cut me off and never let me talk. And meanwhile, I looked in my rear view mirror and I see right behind me is a truck with flashing lights. I'm like, oh, your driver's here. And he mumbled something, and I don't know if I hung up or if we agreed. I don't know. There's a lot of traffic. I couldn't hardly hear. Turns out it was the Illinois tollway worker, and he patrols up and down the expressway, and I guess he made it sound like he just goes helping people. So I assumed that he was the driver, the tow truck driver. The front of his vehicle, from what I could see behind me, looked just like a tow truck. I said, well, I was talking to your dispatch person, and he said this and this and that. And then I looked at the patch on his shirt. I said, oh, you're Illinois Tollway. I said, okay, here's what's going on. I said, the guy wants me to drive around looking for an exit. He said, no, stay right here. He said, now, you got a truck coming? I said, yeah. He just doesn't know where I'm at. So the Illinois worker said, well, I'll just continue on my route, and on my way through again, if you're still here, I'll help you. We'll get something figured out. So I probably was waiting for 45 minutes on the side of the expressway. The driver finally got there, and he says, well, I can't take you anywhere because of the whole COVID stuff, so do you have a ride? I'm like, no, I'm stranded. No, I don't have a ride. I didn't say it like that, but, inside I'm like, no, I'm stuck, Bone tire, no spare. It's not like my mom's following me and she can pick me up. So he said, well, there's an $80 cleaning fee because of COVID to clean the inside of their cab, which was immaculate. $80 cleaning fee. And then he shows me this address, and he said, this is where I'm taking your car. I said, I don't know, where's that? He rattled off something about South Side, and I'm thinking, are you meaning the South Side of Chicago? I'm on the North Side, Northwest Side. I said, I don't know, isn't there a tire place any closer than that? I don't know. I'm thinking this guy's a tow truck driver and he doesn't know the area? So I didn't even know what to say. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to ask. I was just kind of dumbfounded. He said, let me look online. So he gets on his Google machine there and finds a tire place 10 minutes away. He said, but before that, he's like, well, I can't take you anywhere unless you pay $80. But I'll drop you off at the end of the exit ramp up ahead. And then you can call an Uber driver or something and go to this address. Like, I don't even know where that is. Then he looked online and found he said, would you like me to take you there? I said, yeah, I'll pay the $80. So, nice kid, real nice, very polite, very helpful. His dad is the manager of the towing company. I said, well, I want to tell you something. Your dispatch person is seriously rude. I mean, just falsely accused me of things. Was scolding me because I don't know how to find out my GPS location and all that kind of stuff. And he said, well, he's only been on the job for a few weeks and there's a lot of complaints about him. He said, I'll talk to my dad. and see what can be done there. I don't know, I'm just saying. So the guy, I got a rear tire blown out, so he's got to hook onto the rear of the car. So he gets in my car and he does like 16-point turn to get it turned around facing the wrong direction so that he can latch onto it with a Rebo machine. And then he puts a light bar on the front of my car. And away we go. We get to the tire place. He parks my car. I'm inside telling him what's going on. Brings me in the key and away he goes. Meanwhile, I'm telling the tire guy what happened. I said they charged me $80 for a cleaning fee. When you know if he even bothers to clean it, it's just going to be with a wipey. Easy $80. So he calls back in a little bit. Yeah, is my light bar still on your car? So I looked over at the service guy. Light bar? He said, yeah, it's out there. I said, yep. He said, okay, I'm coming back to get it. So I get off the phone. The tire guy, the clerk behind the counter, he looked at me and smiled. He goes, when he gets here, tell him you'll sell it to him for $80. I was like, that's a good one. So they brought it in and gave it to me. Now, this kid's a nice kid. We talked quite a bit and on the trip over there. And for his age, he's actually a very responsible young man. He has goals. He's studying to be an EMT and a fireman. He drives the tow truck part-time just to help out when they need it. And he also does construction part-time. He moved out of the city and into one of the nicer suburbs and rented an apartment just to get out of the troubled areas. And I thought, you know, in this day and age, it's hard to find kids like that, especially in the city. So he comes in and I've got it in my hand. He's like, oh, thanks again, man. I said, I'll sell it to you for $80. And then he chuckled and then took it and went. Thanked me once more. I didn't get my $80 back. It's worth a try. So I told the guy at the tire place, both of the tires up front really aren't that old. I bought them new. The two in the back were used when I got them. Put two new ones on the back. So $280 later, plus the $80 I had to give to the tow guy. This has turned into an expensive trip. Now, if I got to keep everything that's behind me in this van to myself, then all that money I forked out would be a drop in the bucket of what I could make. I see orange, white. So I'm about an hour away from home. I should have been home 4 hours ago, 3 hours ago. I don't know. So I guess probably tomorrow I'll unload this thing, show you all the goodies. A lot of you guys have said, man, Ron, you get all the good stuff. I do. There's truth to that. I get all the good stuff. Wait, do you see what I got behind me? Yeah. Woo, yeah. All right, then. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, now it's Thursday afternoon. Back from my trip. I got up this morning real early. Started messing around with some of the stuff. So let's take inventory here and see what we brought home that Brian got a hold of this time. Okay, starting over here, there's this light bar. I got to test that to see if it works. I haven't messed around with this yet. It does pull, it's loose, it's not froze up. That's a Coleman. I've not even really looked at it. It's one of those. Okay. Yeah. Well, it runs, but the carburetor needs to be cleaned big time. I took the bowl off. I thought, well, how come it's not getting gas? Because I looked underneath there. I didn't see a shutoff valve, but there is. It's in there. Just had to look farther. So, okay, well, that's cool. I mean, if I can get this one running good, I'm keeping this one and selling that one. Then here is a little motor, 5-horser. Let's see if that works. I'm not going to remember. I asked him about details to some of this stuff. I'm just not going to remember it, so I don't know where he gets it all. I know that some of it he found on the side of the road as he was garbage picking or scrapping. And some of it was given to him, and then he went to one place and getting scrapped that they called him, and then he picked up some of the stuff there. This little Craftsman bandsaw, it's just a cheap model. The pulley in there is plastic and it's rubbing on some screws. It looks like it needs to be shimmed out. So I'll put that on Craigslist, and that way whoever comes over to look at it, I can show them exactly what it's doing. This air compressor works, but it has problems. The knob to set the pressure is missing. The reset button is gone. When I threw on the power, sparks shot out of that hole and then tripped the breaker. And it keeps tripping the breaker. So maybe a guy just put another motor on there, but it's not rotted out. And so it is working-ish. Then there's this drive shaft here for a PTO hydraulic pump, Torx wrenches. There's some casters without wheels, but I can go down to Harborial Freight and pick that up. There's some Craftsman Allen wrenches, pegboard pegs, hardware. Then this Remington weed eater. That runs. This was in the scrapyard. It's a Husqvarna 455, and it had a Ziploc bag with brand new crank bearings, not bearings, crank seals, which is up on the bench over there. So I'm going to just put them in. I don't know when, but we'll do that. It does start up, but it won't stay running. So that's a nice find there. Here's another find, this McCulloch 34cc chainsaw. Must have bounced out of someone's truck because it was just sitting on the side of the road near his house. And that starts right up and runs. Here's a Stihl HS85. And look at the size of that hedge trimmer bar. That's a long one. It's about almost 4 foot. That will start up, but I haven't got it to stay running. This HS45 will start up, and I didn't get that one to stay running, and so we got to do some work on that. This chainsaw is a it's an MS210. Runs great. There's an 025. Runs great. There's an 026. I believe that one runs great too. So This one I know I got it to fire up. I don't know if I actually had it running. I think it was smoking and I had the doors shut, so I was going to take it outside and let her rip. So I didn't bring a lot of things home. And then there's this folding clothes rack deal. And it's kind of compact. It all folds up so that you can stand it in a corner somewhere. I think that is all. There's a few odds and ends on the bench, like chainsaw chains. Next to that generator there is the bracketing to build a base for your table saw, like you see over on that one. Like you can't hardly see because it's dark over there. So, I mean, there's a lot of money right here just in the steel equipment. The McCulloch, you know, a guy could probably get 50, 60 bucks out of that. You know, I'll put this on Craigslist for somebody wants to mess with it. I'll sell it cheap because that motor is spitting fire. And I'm probably going to work on this guy next and see what we can't do there. So I survived my flat tire ordeal. I don't like having those kinds of problems on the expressway and out of state and in a place. You know, I drove through there for years, since 1992. Been driving through there, and I've had problems on the expressway. I never had a blowout, and I never had to deal with a towing company. And actually, I can't say anything bad about the company. Their dispatcher is the guy that's the problem. And according to the manager's son, they're going to address it. I mean, whatever they do, that's their business, not mine. But he was not pleasant to talk to. He would not let you finish the sentence. He would cut you off and then accuse you of being upset with him. And so I said, sir, I'm not upset with you. Maybe he needs to go to customer service class 101. Probably what he needs. But now I got to sell some of the stuff to cover the loss on my tires and the $80 cleaning fee, which is ridiculous. You know, $20 I can see because the truck's already clean. All you had to do is take a wipey and go over stuff because, you know, if he was that worried, he wouldn't have me ride in the truck at all. And it's not the driver. He was a good guy. So that's all. I guess time to go make this video. We'll see you next time.